Good morning. I had a long trip yesterday. I had two connections, flew on one real airplane and two regional jets.
That must have sucked balls, and I bet your ass is sore and you want to beat up someone who represents all the jackasses you encountered.
Yes, regional jets have the worst seats you can imagine. It would be more comfortable if they had us sit on broken glass. And first class on a 737 now means your seat is slightly better than sitting on the New York subway at 5 o'clock on a Friday in 100-degree heat, next to a street bum that hasn't showered in a month. And people suck. I think you should be required to submit to behavioral testing and etiquette training before purchasing an airline ticket. Otherwise, I am going to bitch slap the next motherfucker that hits me with his backpack on his way to his seat, grabs the back of my seat while sitting down, puts his carry-on luggage 16 rows behind where he is sitting, taps his foot to his iPod, picks his toes, or talks on his cell phone with a voice loud enough to be heard during a rock concert.
My God. You are complaining about minor inconveniences, and you should just be thankful to be able to travel on an airplane instead of driving to your destination. You are a miserable bastard.
You haven't heard anything yet? It all starts at the security checkpoint when it comes as a surprise to these assholes that you need to have an ID and boarding pass for the TSA agent. If you can't understand that, then you are too stupid to be alive. Your organs should be harvested for the benefit of someone with a brain, and the rest of your sorry ass should be used to fill potholes. It continues when these fucksticks need 8 bins for their useless and worthless belongings, and they put their dirty shoes in one of the bins when it is clearly not necessary and they can be placed directly on the belt. But because they are selfish jerk-offs, they not only delay everyone else from going through security, they dirty the bins with their shoes. Now I have to place my suit jacket in a bin that has been soiled with urine and feces from the bottom of some cocksucker's shoes.
You have issues.
I certainly do, because once I have passed through the magnetometer, it would be helpful if these ignorant people would gather their 8 bins of shit that needs to be rechecked because they packed Gatorade, Twinkies, and 48 ounces of moisturizer in their carry-on luggage, so that the rest of us can proceed to the next miserable encounter with an airport full of fuckholes and selfish bastards.
You haven't even got on the plane yet and you are ready to kill someone. If the airport experience is so miserable, why don't you stop flying?
Are you one of these people?
I certainly am not, and how dare you make that suggestion?
I am sorry. I just don't understand how otherwise normal-looking people could be so completely self-absorbed so that they think they are the only ones in the airport. The next son of a bitch or bitch that stops in the middle of the terminal corridor to decide whether they are going to wipe their ass or buy a bagel is going to get run over, stepped on, taunted, and I am going to shove a Long John from Dunkin' Donuts up their ass. The same goes for the losers who stand on the moving walkway. Did you hear me? It is not a standway. It is a walkway. The same goes for them, only I will make sure an article of their clothing gets stuck on the belt so they are sucked under the walkway and their bodies are torn to shreds. The next time they will think twice about standing on the walkway.
It sounds like you are making your way to the gate.
I am, but before I forget, the next TSA agent I see text messaging his next hookup, flirting with another co-worker, or talking with other agents about the latest Glee episode is going to get an earful of colorful metaphors from me. They're earning my tax dollars to make sure no unauthorized items or people get through security. It is not their ass on that airplane, it is mine. They just need to do their fucking job, shut their fucking mouth, and at least act like they give a shit. Otherwise, maybe they can go back to being a crossing guard or working carnival security.
I think you would benefit from some therapy.
The people that need therapy are the ones that stand in the terminal corridor waiting for the gate agent to begin boarding. They are the arrogant assholes sitting in first class or with airline status that have to show everyone how important they are by clogging the corridor with their fat asses. However, maybe if the pigs sitting in the chairs would dispose of their McDonald's supersized death meals or their orange chicken from the Asian sheet hole in the food court, or parents would control their screaming bastard children, it would be a more pleasant environment and people would not have to stand in the corridor to escape the horror that is the gate area.
What do you tell the people on an airplane about the people with whom you work? You are a miserable, sick SOB.
I tell them it is their fault that I am an asshole and that their selfish behavior is why I want everyone in the airport to suddenly die of a virus to which I have immunity. I wish a giant alien ship would emerge from the ground and shoot them with lasers, turning them all to ash. That would make me happy.
I am calling human resources.
Listen, bitch, you are going to stand here and listen to me finish my story because I am getting to the safety portion of the travel experience. There are only so many safety precautions you can take on an airplane. If that fucker falls from the sky, there's nothing anyone can do about it. That's probably a good thing, because if it could get any worse, the people I have described in my story would certainly find a way. For God's sake, you are sitting in a damn seat in an aluminum tube moving 100 miles per hour down a runway and 500 miles per hour in the air. You would think these stupid sheetheads would comply with the simple safety rules that could save their miserable life and mine. But no, they are so fucking stupid, they would rather ignore common sense and multiple reminders from the flight crew than just sit in their seat with their damn seat belt fastened.
What in the hell are you talking about?
Do you know why they want the seats in the upright and locked position for takeoff and landing?
Because they want you to be as uncomfortable as possible, so when you recline to a slightly less uncomfortable position, you don't realize how shitty it really is.
Jesus, that makes sense. But the real reason is takeoff and landing are the most dangerous portions of any flight, and if there is an emergency and everyone has to exit the airplane, the reclining of your seat will prevent the person sitting behind you from getting out of the row. That's right. It is not for the safety of the fucking offender. It is for the person behind him. Of course, we have already established that all of these cocksucking jackasses are the most selfish people in human history. I think the next time someone reclines their seat upon takeoff or landing, I am going to strap them to it, unbolt it from the floor and throw them out the airplane door so they understand how it would feel not to be able to get out of their seat in an emergency. And then there are the hellbound, self-important fuckers that think it's okay to leave their seat while the fastened seat belt sign is still illuminated. These are a fun bunch. Apparently, they're confident in their ability to maintain their balance while the airplane hits turbulence. What they fail to think about is everyone else on the airplane. Because while they're getting their pornographic magazine out of the overhead bin and the plane hits turbulence, they will bounce around the plane like Charlie Sheen at an orgy. They will severely injure themselves, and I hope they do, but they will injure everyone else too, these fucking douchebags. When the seat belt sign is illuminated, stay in your fucking seat or I will drive stakes through your lifeless body and into the frame of the airplane so you cannot move.
Are you done?
Shut the fuck up. Speaking of reclining seats, have you ever realized how little space there is behind you, and when you attempt to recline your seat you are likely going to injure the person behind you, causing them to need knee replacements, or you are cramping them so much they will develop blood clots in their legs and die shortly after departing the airplane. Unless you are sitting in first class, don't ever recline your fucking seat. If you are on a regional jet and think about reclining your seat, I will come to your house and pack your entire body into an igloo cooler. This will provide you a similar experience.
Do you have anything positive to say? Anything at all?
Yes, I do. While waiting for my luggage in the baggage claim area, the asshole sitting in the last row of the plane who pushed through everyone to get off the plane first for whatever goddamn reason realized his luggage had been lost. I couldn't have been happier, and I will have a great day just because I know he is miserable.